a story. Well, anyway, so we'll go and get started here.
Let's go to trending.
If you're watching on YouTube, you know, this is probably what cut it in. We had issues. We're starting a little later than normal. And we kind of were just hanging out. Purplex was having some mic issues. So
his top clip for 30 days is testing a home internet setup.
That doesn't seem right.
Actually, 2 of them are.
No, it's your top with 3 views.
Oh.
What happens if I try to connect on my computer and also on the phone?
Disconnect. Excuse me, it'll disconnect.
Yeah,
I remember
one of them will
when that happens.
Uh-oh. Right, anywho, so long story short, Purplex is going to be using his phone mic. It's not terrible, but it's certainly not ideal. Also, tonight we do not have Matt with us. He is busy with like graduation and stuff, so he will not be with us tonight. His character is just going to be hanging around in the background, and yeah, we can go ahead and get started here. So let's see. Why don't Craigox, have you done a little recap or a review yet?
I have.
Oh,
I did the last one.
Oh, that's right. You did the last one. And Dragery, did you do one yet?
I have no idea.
Okay. You do one then, because I don't want to make Purplex do it.
No, he hasn't done one yet.
I don't want to make Purplex do one tonight, so.
Alright, so...
I mean, I could do one.
Was yesterday the one where we killed the Drake?
Yeah.
Alright, so... We were in the Drake's place, and we killed it. And we leveled up. The end.
I can missed a couple of details.
There were some spooky skeleton men, and we killed them too.
Mm-hmm.
And then we leveled up for real. The end.
No,
I remember key points.
Yeah, so you guys killed the Drake.
I remember that Rhymebout and the rest of his band were being held hostage by the skeleton.
Wait,
Yeah.
they're a
And
band?
few of them
We should have
died.
let them die.
But no, yeah, so you,
Okay.
yeah, you guys did, I mean, honestly, not too much happened, because, I mean, this stuff took a while. It was a big battle, you know. So you fought the Drake, and
It took
killed
like
it.
2 hours for 2.5 rounds of combat.
There was the, there were those, like, skeleton dudes and whatever, these undead things that had taken your group hostage, your group of allies hostage. And you guys fought them. There was a clutch play by Layna, who killed, like, half of them right at the start. And still a couple of the...
16 out of 20, actually?
I think it was, like, 14 out of 20. But, yeah.
Whatever.
But you killed a lot of them. And, however, the ones that were left decided to, well, they had been ordered to essentially kill as many of these prisoners as they could if stuff had happened. Or, you know, the last orders had been from the dude you guys had all heard. They, you know, if you come any closer, if you do anything, then they'll die. And so a few of the men did die, actually, even after the battle. You guys won the battle. But a couple of
They wanted to die anyway.
a couple of the men did die. I think I had said like 4 out of the 20 or so men died. And
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and Rhymebout got angry at us because we saved him.
Rhymebout was angry a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, he was a little biatch and wanted to suck some skeleton dick or something.
Yeah, something like that. No, totally.
He has the personality of a devotion paladin.
They had
Be surprised if we start smiting things.
They had also the 2 of like the other undead boys had also actually tried to like basically take off with Rhymebout as a prisoner, but you guys stopped them, so that was good. And we had kind of ended with you guys doing a little bit of recap and stuff in the main cavern there, and that's what we'll pick up now actually, and we'll go in a little more depth. So let's just to kind of lay out the situation for you guys. You have the giant with you guys now, who still hasn't really been brought up to speed necessarily on everything that is going on. There's the kobolds, who are now like looking to Grizzles for leadership. There's the group of soldiers, and in a second I'm gonna tell you what each of them are sort of doing as you guys are sort of now recovering or figuring out what's going on. So I guess one thing we didn't cover last time, but the giant would probably pretty much, as soon as you guys thought it was safe, he would want to see his griffin,
Well, I mean, we gave him his horn, so that's up to him.
Yeah. So
yeah, I mean,
so he'll go outside.
he's fully capable of it.
He'll go out the main entrance then, and sort of like after a bit come back in the main cave.
Okay.
Heck, if he wanted to, he could just call the griffin in the Drake's lair since it
Yeah.
was open air.
We have. We talked about the loot you guys found, and Anna in particular
Yeah.
found something interesting.
Didn't find anything. Oh,
Yeah. The rest of the group split up some of the money there. And did you guys take like all the money, including copper and silver?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
took
will
all of
take
it.
all metal.
Yeah, fair enough.
Layna has carry strength.
You see, we have basically the equivalent of a bag of holding in the party.
Yeah. So the
Yeah, man.
It's closer to a drawing horse
So let's see
or a draft horse.
A drawing.
Yeah. Well, it draws a wagon.
So do you guys plan to just like camp out in the main cave here? There's plenty of
No,
space.
I don't have like calligraphy tools or anything like
Wasn't it
that.
like
Are you
nighttime?
sure?
Painter's
the what,
tools,
Jack?
nothing like that.
Wasn't it nighttime?
It was not nighttime yet. It was like afternoon. You guys had attacked in like the morning and started going in the morning, right? So that whole
like,
thing.
I thought they the group that we told to distract started at noon.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. It's still in the afternoon though. That whole ordeal only took maybe a couple hours, sneaking up and then fighting the Drake and then immediately going to deal with the other things. So it's like mid-afternoon, and it's not even yet. So you guys don't have to like camp in here. You can though. I mean, this is pretty secured. However, I will say, of course, that this place was not really taken great care of. It kind of stinks. Kind of smells like kobold crap, So it's not the best smelling. However, it's not like terrible to the point where it's invading your nostrils. So you guys can camp in here with the kobolds that are in here. Grizzles has sort of been talking to them. We'll say that this is like, there's been maybe a few minutes passing as you guys you were looking at the loot in the Drake lair, and the rest of the kobolds, and including Grizzles, were staying out in the main cavern and talking to them amongst themselves, as were most of the soldiers in a different part of the cavern. And the giant was helping you guys get up to the little plateau there. So, what do you guys want to do?
Let's see. We're not making it back to civilization today.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I hadn't really thought about what we were going to do because I could have sworn we were going to just, like, long rest and then start after that.
Yeah, that's what I had. That's like what I was assuming at the end.
That's
of the
what
last session.
my character sheet assumes because it's all been reset.
Yeah.
So we're just resting.
So I'm
here for
definitely
the night.
not going to be doing anything until I long rest.
All right. So you guys just
That
want
has to do with anything on my stuff mechanically.
All right. So you just want to rest now then?
Yeah,
I
make
mean,
sure nothing
yeah.
immediately is going to go horribly wrong.
Yeah, like secure the premises and.
Make sure no one's bleeding to death or trying to kill each other.
Yeah, so you just want to rest then, and then after that, figure out what you're gonna do. I gotcha. That sounds good to me. So we'll just say that you guys. I mean, it kind of makes sense. You guys are all like probably exhausted. Some of you almost died, or like almost got knocked down at least back there. Layna was knocked down. Was it Layna who's not? Yeah, Layna was knocked down. And
I was knocked down.
Nox was almost knocked down. So I'm assuming you guys are pretty tired anyway. So that makes sense to take a rest. To just collapse on the ground, roll out like a blanket or a bedroll or whatever, and just rest. And yeah, Rhymeabout, he'll like set up some men on the watch at both the front entrance and the back entrance. And yeah, so you guys can rest. So this will mean that it'll probably wake. After a long rest, it'll be evening time.
What? No.
Oh, you're like
spending the night here.
okay. I didn't. I thought you guys were just saying directly when I was talking about this is mid afternoon, so you're gonna wait till evening and then do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so then in that case, we have time to talk about stuff beforehand. That's all I was wondering. Because Rhinemelt wants to talk to you guys. So does Grizzles. So does the Giant. They all want to talk to you guys. I was just wondering if we would do that before the rest or after. Not that it really matters, probably, unless you attack them all of a sudden, timing of the rest doesn't really matter too much. We'll say that you guys sometime either before or after they'll talk to you guys. Who do you want to talk to first?
I mean,
Guess Anna isn't going to seek any of them out, so.
So I'll say that
if no one else in the party is, it's up to whoever of them shows up.
So I'll say that the kobolds in the corner, they as you guys are like sort of sitting around waiting for bedtime, relaxing, recovering, licking your wounds, then in like one corner of the cavern, then the kobolds are sort of like talking amongst themselves, having a little conference there with Grizzles in the middle of them talking, and they sort of like don't really, whenever someone else from your group or Rheinebout's men gets close, they sort of like stop and like look over at them suspiciously. They clearly don't want other people around during this discussion. Rheinebout's men as well are a little like keeping to themselves. None of them really are like looking at you guys, and when they do, their looks are like not the most pleasant looks, I would say. At least from a couple of them. So we'll say, yeah, like, I'm just gonna say you guys take a little bit to relax and kind of chill for a second after all this is done, and you would finish looting and talking amongst yourselves and whatnot, and that's when you start to notice this stuff. And at this point in time, if you guys don't approach any...
Actually, I remember something that I was going to do.
Mm-hmm.
Is at some point, Nox would approach, I guess, probably Layna, being like, hey, we should probably give like some of the silver to Rheinebout and whatever the other dude's name is.
Yordred, yeah.
To give to these dudes, since most of them almost died.
I mean, they like wanted to die though, so.
No, Rheinebout wanted to die. I don't think the rest of them wanted to die.
I mean, the rest of them follow Rheinebout, so like, as far as
I did specifically describe last time that when he was yelling at you guys, berating you, that a couple of the other men
actually belonged to Yordred.
Yeah, and most of the men, when Rheinebout had been going off on you guys last time, then a couple of the other men had actually sort of like tossed nasty looks in your guys' directions. Mostly, like some at Rheinebout too.
Reset.
Hmm?
All of your guys' audio settings reset for me for some reason.
Oh no.
So,
Woo!
however, so anyway, so you guys gonna? So does that mean you're gonna go?
Like, I'm going to Layna because I think she's carrying most of the silver, or all of the silver, maybe.
I think it's
Yeah,
all
I'm pretty
of the silver.
sure I
think
grabbed all
she's-
of the silver.
Just going to become an analyst and start carrying the world.
How much
pretty
was it
soon.
again?
It's like 6,000.
Let me look.
We could give them 1,000 silver.
Like, let me check. Yeah, let me check. What is that? That's like 100 gold, yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
For mercenaries.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna like, since we have like a decent amount of time.
Yeah, you got a few hours
I'm just
before you
going
should
to
go to bed, probably. Yeah.
I'm just gonna like turn 1,000 silver into 100 gold,
Okay.
and then
Yeah,
I'll
give
just
100
give them
gold.
50. I'll just give them the 100 gold.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sounds good. So, when you approach Rheinebout to give him that gold, then he says, yes, could we, I'd like to talk to you guys, I'd like to talk to you guys about this. This is good, though. And that's when Rheinebout will sort of like
what
pull
do
you.
want to talk about?
Yeah, so he'll pull you guys all aside. It's just him and you guys. None of the other men, Yordred and Richard, are not there. Richard is like still kind of hurting from earlier, even though I mean you guys like healed him up. He's fine. He's just kind of like aching a little bit, you know. So Rainbow pulls you guys aside, and he says to you guys in sort of like not a hushed tone per se, but kind of not yelling, not super confidently. So he's like, I'm glad you've offered this money. I was actually going to ask you for help with that. Some of the men are a little anxious after what happened.
Couldn't possibly be because you asked us to leave you for dead, could it?
He doesn't respond to that, and then he kind of like stops for a second, glares at Nox, and then looks back at Layna and says, well, actually, he kind of just talks out in general to you guys at this point. Says, what is your plan moving forward? The men are, most of them at least, are still willing to go forward after this, as long as the pay is good, and that's precisely what I was going to ask for, is money to pay for the next week of service from them.
Well, it'd be nice to get back to Snowfeld for at least a little bit, and not be trekking through the wilderness like we have for the past few weeks. The next step from here is to go clear out that monastery.
So you're saying you'd not want to pursue that now, though?
Immediately after we just did this?
I'm sure not only us, but you guys as well probably need a minute to recover.
I suppose there's something to be said for that. In fact, I will say a couple of the men have been rather vocal with their concerns. A few of the men, just a few, and he like glares back towards the group of men huddled around. A few of them think that they deserve a cut of the Drake's loot because they say that they did their equal share.
I point at the money in his hands.
Some of them, I told them I would pay their normal wages and more even, but as a reward for this harrowing experience. But some of them are insisting. And
And what did you offer them as normal wage?
The normal of about 3 silver a day. And
Well,
this
it
is
seems
enough
like
for
you have
at
more than
least.
enough.
This is at least enough for 2 weeks for this group of men and more. Of course, we do have to pay for provisions and other things, but there's just a couple men that are insisting that they get a fair cut, that they should all get a fair cut of all the money. And I told them no, but I fear that this will cause them to resent me or you all in the future. But I don't think it's close to being a mutiny. Just wanted to let you know. So do you guys say anything else right now?
Nope.
How many of them are there?
Are you there?
We're all there.
Yeah, we're all here.
Oh,
We were all pulled.
Yeah, he pulls you all in. How many are complaining, you mean?
No, total.
Total? But we are 14 strong.
14?
Yes.
I take out 14 platinum coins and place them in his hand.
He looks at it and he looks up at you and says, "This should help assuage their concerns."
Better damn well.
And he'll turn like he's about to go back to the men to talk to
Better
them.
than what I was gonna give him.
But then he turns back
Give
and
him each a copper piece.
then he turns back and looks at you all again and says, "Well, if you all plan on going back to Snowfeld, me and, well, our men, I'm not sure what we'll do. We'll probably have to stay outside of the towns. I don't think we want to draw much attention. But where would you have us go if you're helping to pay for them? What would you have the men do, our men do, and I will lead them?
I would send them blindly into the monastery. And I give a friendly wink.
He looks at you and glares.
I mean, what you would like to do with them is really up to you. I know you raised them to help us, but they are your men and not ours.
They merely want to help see that the Duchy of Felling and that Snowfeld is not attacked, and earn some money on the side. Being mercenaries, of course.
Well, if they hang out around Snowfeld, they'll be able to make sure that it's safe, and they'll also be around when we head back out again.
So you say that we should maybe go with you and camp a little outside of Snowfeld? Set up camp?
It makes sense for what the men signed up for.
He nods and he's like, sure. That'll be our plan then. We'll travel towards Snowfeld, set up camp probably on a little northeast of the town, and that should be good. We'll wait for your orders, your commands, or until you come to us, and we'll be waiting for word.
All right.
Right, and he'll turn around and go back to the men and start. You guys can see he starts splitting up the gold among people. So next up, the giant actually walks over, seeing that you guys were talking to Ryan about. The giant walks over. He lumbers over now, and stoops. He gets down on puts his knee down, goes to a knee, and so he can talk to you guys more face to face. And he says, well then, we haven't had much time to talk. You all know my name. Did I ever get yours? I think, and I think he did, actually, out of character. I think you guys briefly did.
Extend my hand outward to him and say, Miles, read.
He shakes it you can tell he makes an effort to be gentle, but it's still has a crushing force as he basically grabs your arm.
I don't know, I'm pretty strong.
Yeah? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with my 9 strength.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Careful, don't hurt him.
It's only half of mine.
I'm Nox. Nice to meet you.
Yep. And
Anna bows.
And yeah, so does Layna also say?
Do I know any traditional giant?
Yeah, and actually, you guys had already talked a little bit in giant too, I think. So, so yeah, you can say one of those, and yeah.
All right.
And yeah, he nods to all of you, shakes your hands if you offer them, and he says, I owe you all a great deal. You have not only saved my life, but you saved me from a lot of suffering before the Drake would have finally taken it. How can I repay you all?
Well, there's a certain monastery not too far from here. It didn't used to be there, but it is now. At some point, we're going to go there and kill most of the people there, I think. That's the plan.
And you'd have my help with this.
It would probably make things a lot easier for the rest of us.
Very well. Then I can absolutely offer my service for this. And with that, he sort of looks like he looks off to the side, like he's thinking about something. He's like, well, I will say, I do plan on returning to my home soon, but I will be ready when you call on me. And he reaches into a pocket or a little loose part of his cloaks, and he pulls out what looks to be a stone, and his hand dwarfs the size of this stone. It's not actually that big. It's maybe baseball size. They're probably a little small, like golf ball size, we'll say. Not even that big. And he holds.
He just pulled a piece of dust out of his pockets.
but he like pulls it out, and he actually has it between his two fingers. And you guys can see it's sort of like a smoothed over stone that is shaped. It looks like it was carved and smoothed out to look like a cloud. And he holds this out to like just in the middle of the group, and like motions with his other hand like for one of you guys to take it.
I take it.
All right, you take it, and he says to you, "With this stone, you can speak to me. Once a day, you may send me a message. I have the other one on my person, and when the time comes, let me know, and I will meet you all."
How much does it weigh?
I don't know, maybe
It's
like
ascending stone. I don't know if those are in the.
we'll say like a pound. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not.
So it weighs a pound.
They do weigh a pound.
Alright.
But I don't know if that's a set of them or if that's.
This one weighs a pound. Yeah.
It's a giant ascending stone.
Yeah, it's actually 10 pounds. No.
It's actually 50 pounds.
Yeah. So yeah, he hands this to you, and he says, and so he said that last part to all you guys. He says, like, you may use it to contact me when the time is right, and I will come to you all. I do think I will spend the night here, probably sleep outside with my griffin, and then tomorrow morning we'll head off back to my home.
I believe that is our plan as well.
Fair enough. And with that, unless you guys ask him anything else, he'll like lumber away and just probably go outside actually to go spend time with his pet griffin, his companion.
All right.
And so then the last thing is that Grizzles will come over to you guys. Let me look at something. Okay, so Grizzles will come over, and he's actually bringing another kobold with him. He's another kobold that's like walking beside him. This kobold is grizzled like Grizzles. No, it's a grizzled kobold, but it's not Grizzles. No, but it's old. It's super. You can tell it's old because it's like bent over, like hunched over, and it has like a walking stick. And it has kind of like shriveled up skin and scales, and
He was like 100 years old.
it's definitely an older kobold. He's smaller than the other ones. He looks like he's shrunk with age, and he's walking beside Grizzles and coming over to you guys. So Grizzles comes over and he basically says to y'all, "Is it okay if we talked?"
Sure.
So, the rest of my kin, they don't entirely trust all of you.
Be kind of stupid to trust us since we just broke in and killed their boss.
Since we've killed a few of them in the past, they are apprehensive. And he almost looks like he's happy that he remembered such a big word. They are apprehensive about you.
I don't believe we've ever attacked kobolds unprovoked. Fairly certain every time it's been them against us first.
And the grizzled old kobold actually speaks up now, and he's like, "I believe you are right, but that does
Jesus Christ.
that does not necessarily help in their minds." And Grizzles is like, let me introduce. This is Erdlzel.
What?
The elder.
Did you just say with your mouth?
Erdlzel.
No. You poetry, not Grizzles.
Yeah, it's
Erdlzel.
Erdlzel, yeah. I know. It's
I'm gonna
Erdlzel.
need that in text.
It was
I put it
going
in the chat. Erdlzel. He's the elder of our kind here. And Erdelzil, he sort of like bows down a little bit to you guys, actually, sort of in respect, even. And Erdelzil speaks up and is like, I know that you mean the best for us, otherwise you would have killed us already. But how can we... it's gonna be work to convince the others. He'll also, I'm not gonna do the voice for a little bit. He'll say that like he'll also go on to say that that like the that they will probably not want to. He says like lots of them still lust for blood, and at some point they're gonna want to go back to their raiding ways.
Well, if you'd like to survive, I suggest not doing that.
He tells you that he's old enough in kobold terms to have realized that maybe they can't always be warring and raiding, but he says that the others need an outlet for that.
Actually, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
Oh god.
Kobolds can live to about 120.
Yeah.
He'll say.
But they usually only live to about 20.
That's because they get killed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'll say that he's like a 110.
Ah, venerable old age.
Wait, so this Drake has been operating out of this mountain for 100 years?
He'll nod to that and say yeah. He'll say that back in the day that the Drake didn't do as much of the kobold spawning as he has done lately. But he does say that he's been around since he says that he's actually from the first generation of kobolds that this Drake spawned and brought into life to be his minions, you know. And there's been many generations since then. But let me see. Grizzles
Failing all. Oh, what?
Grizzles will actually pipe up and like he'll ask you guys about what you had said before. I think it was maybe Anna who said something about like being a mercenary company or something, and just throwing it out there at one point.
Yeah.
He'll be like, how would you suggest we do that? You know.
Well, you would have to make a name for yourself as trustworthy kobold. No one would hire a random pack of kobolds with a nameless leader.
Do you think that if we... And he sort of like thinks off himself. Do you think that if I went to the Duke or the Baron and showed him this, holding up the Drake's head that he was like dragging around, if I showed them this, do you think that would help?
With the right
Perhaps.
coaxing.
Perhaps if you had our word to vouch for you.
And are you guys going to the Baron or the Duke?
We're most likely going to see the Baron.
If that is
Sure,
the case,
Fascinated and wanting to see us for some reason.
if that is the case, then I can. Maybe I'll go with you while the rest stay here, and try to seek approval or something. I don't know.
Well, Anna, he's your pet.
He glares at you.
Support you. I'm more than willing to support you as long as you keep your brethren from harming the other inhabitants here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He says that he'll Grizzles like talks to the elder one, Erdelzil, in Draconic for a second, and he says then Erdelzil will respond and say that he can keep them in check long enough for Grizzles to hopefully, you know, talk to the Baron or something. And then Grizzles like waves Erdelzil away. Erdelzil goes back to the rest of the kobolds in the corner and talks to them. Grizzles stays with you guys for a second. He's like, if that's the case, I suppose I'll be staying with you all a little longer.
Huh, willingly. That'd be perhaps the first step.
Mm-hmm. He
Say that
nods.
as if it's a death sentence.
He says, "Well, now that I've killed my former master, then I feel more empowered to stay here with my kin and lead them. But there is this one thing I have to do for that to work."
Mm-hmm.
Blood sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
What?
So and so he'll like look at you guys and say, like, see if you guys are gonna say anything else to him. Otherwise, he'll turn away as well.
Well, we'll leave you to it. We plan on leaving tomorrow.
Yeah, and he goes back and is talking to the kobolds, some of which they start, like, some of them start clapping and stuff. You know, they're all talking in Draconic and just gibberish is flying around. So they're probably talking about stuff, but yeah. But it seems like it goes over well with them, and even after that, a couple of them might pass closer to you guys to like look at you guys more, like kind of oohing and awing over the items you guys have.
Good thing Kass isn't here. There'd
Yeah.
be spit flying.
Yeah. So, anywho, so that's so you guys have talked to the three like groups here. Let's see. So did you guys want to? So Gristles is gonna go with you guys then. He was gonna travel with you guys, but would you guys travel with Rhinebout and the other men back towards Snowfeld until you got close to there, or would you travel separately?
They seem to travel kind of slow.
Yeah, that's true.
Not to mention they're not going to go all of the way, and we can find them with the bird.
Yep.
So I imagine just giving him a general area to go to and
Mhm.
traveling separate would be fine.
Yep. He'll yeah, that sounds good. He'll recall that on like the northeast east northeast side of town roughly, that there's like a rocky area that has some outcroppings that could make good camping grounds. And okay. Sounds good. And yeah, no, that sounds good. All right, so what do you guys do? Anything else like with this evening time before you go to bed for the night? Since you do have a little bit of time.
So I know he's not here, but I know Ulf was going to use a spell slot. His warhorse back.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. Yep, he does that and gets his warhorse back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of anything else that we talked about.
Okay.
Yeah, honestly, we didn't discuss too much about directly happenings in this cave.
Hey. Yeah. Let me see something. All right. Cool. Sounds good.
Okay.
You guys don't have to roll random encounters for tonight. You guys are in this cave that with plenty of people and guards and everything. So no problem there. Okay. So the next day you guys are going to start traveling back. So I'm assuming at the crack of dawn, get going early. Excuse me.
Rip.
Yeah, your internet's acting up.
Oh,
Goodbye,
you know what?
poetry.
It's the creative cloud thing that keeps popping up. Why is that destroying my internet? Weird. It's very strange.
Why is that a
take
problem
after-
for anybody?
I don't know.
I've never had that pop up.
I don't have
I've
it.
never
What
What
had
is
that.
the
that.
Creative Cloud?
I
It's an
think
Adobe thing.
Adobe.
I'm pretty
yeah,
sure
hold
that
on.
you
Oh.
can like.
It's just, I
completely
just never
mute it,
updated.
And I looked it up once how to mute it. Which
Yeah.
is why
Never
I've
seen the pop up.
Let me do it real
Which is why
quick.
I've never had it pop up ever.
Do not show notifications. There we go. Okay. Hopefully that's
There you go.
keeps it. Yeah. All right. So the so yeah, this works. One second. Just let me write something down. Okay, so I want you guys to tell me what your plan is here. Are you guys gonna go straight to Snowfield or stop in Instrid on the way, or any other like little towns here to rest, or villages to get rest and
So-
supplies?
As we're heading out,
feel like we'll
Knox.
never stop by Inshred again.
Well, I mean, the fastest way would be to like go to Fairstrom and then walk on the road.
On the
from
road,
there,
yeah.
I think.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it'd be the most like road heavy path, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm. I mean, are you guys
We could
trying to
probably
hide
make
from
it back
anyone
to
off the
those
roads?
In a day.
I guess we don't have to stop in Fairstrom because we could just like.
Yeah, you could like
Yeah.
like go towards the road there. Yeah. Okay. If that is what you guys want to do, then that is what you can do. So Grizzle's with you guys, and you no longer have the Griffin following you around. So yeah, as you guys are like preparing to leave in the morning early, then the giant dude is also actually preparing to go. He's hooking up like a rudimentary saddle that he sort of just rigged together from different leather pieces he found around the caves, different materials. It doesn't look like it's super stable, but it looks like it'll do. He might even ask Layna for some assistance in, like, you know, making the straps fit and everything, and I'm assuming she would help him out with that. But yeah, so he'll actually depart, and he mounts the Griffin, and you know he's a big 20-foot tall dude, but the Griffin's also pretty huge, and they launch into the sky. The Griffin carrying him, and they go soaring up, up, up until it's just a little speck on the horizon. So,
Alright.
and then you guys will start going on your merry way. So you're gonna head to the road, not pass through Fierstrom though, and then just kind of go, and you'll probably make it to that little village about bedtime, or evening time. I don't think I had a name for that village. I might though. Give me a second. We will call it. Hold on. I think I actually do have one for it. We're gonna call it Arlandale. Arlandale, like that. And so in Arlandale, Arlandale is just a tiny little place. It really just has like one inn and tavern, and it has a blacksmith and the basic necessities. But and it actually does have, this place has a little wooden wall around the center of the town. Just nothing too big, just like maybe a 10-foot wall, wooden wall that's just made with these spikes, and like a little gate with an entrance. So it's a little more secure. And beyond that, there's like guards. There's a couple guards at both gates. Other than that, not really much going on here. There's no keep or anything. There is actually though there's like a stone tower in the middle actually that has like maybe a tiny wall around it. So there's a tiny little compound here, but no like keeps or castles. So anyways, we don't have to go into details. Are you just planning on spending the night? Do any of you look for anything at the blacksmith, anything like that?
Just spending the night for Knox, I think.
All right, yeah, sounds good.
Ugh.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Is there like a bar at the end?
Yeah. You can play for your food and stay. I'm assuming.
Cool.
So, I assume that's.
And
what
it's
you're
going
asking
to play a song about how Grizzles and us killed the Drake,
for. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
hamming him up as much as possible since we're trying to make him a reputable boy.
Mm-hmm. In fact, yeah, you guys get a lot of looks at first. However, it kind of seems like one or two of the people in here might have heard rumors about you guys by now. So it goes over pretty well. People, roll me a performance check. Let's see how well it goes.
Roll with advantage 'cause I'm playing with you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Although really, if it's a day where I never use spell slots, I could even give myself advantage.
Yeah, but, yeah.
Let's see.
Nice.
Nice. Mm-hmm.
Average roll.
slightly above average.
So
Slightly.
you so yeah, it's a pretty darn good performance. people get really into it. A little crowd draws. A couple people from outside hear the music going on and come in. And it seems like a few people are really impressed with the sounds of these heroics, and even like toss some. You see some looks being tossed over at Grizzles, who might be just clapping along or something, or and is cheering and stuff.
Yeah, what's his reaction getting fucking
he
gravitas story saying about him?
Well, actually, so at this point he'll see there's like probably we'll say there's a what instrument did he play? He plays the drums, right? We determined. Let me look.
That's
at
what
it.
you decided.
Yeah, on his character sheet, I think I put drums. So yeah, drums. So he actually sees that there's like a little set of drums on stage that people use occasionally when they play music here, and he jumps up and joins in. And you can tell that people in the audience, a couple of them at least, are looking at him when the lyrics of the ballad are talking about him. And maybe they're thinking in their head, like, is that the one that she's talking about? Is that the same kobold, the very same kobold?
So if I hear any of the people
yeah, you hear a whisper
like
that. Yeah.
I'm just gonna poke them on the shoulder and be like, yeah, that's the kobold.
And they'll look back at you and be like, what? Oh, really? When did this happen?
Did they say when?
Yeah.
Fucking yesterday.
Last night.
and he
Aren't we literally dragging the?
Oh
Giant
yeah, I was
along?
actually just gonna ask where is the head, right? Like where would you
Grizzle's
keep it?
probably dragged it on
I
stage.
can't remember.
He-
Do we just have horses or do we have a cart? I
You
can't
have a
remember.
war
We have,
No, we have
we have a
We're not on it.
warhorse, and that's it.
We have a warhorse.
So
So
we'll say
we
that
would have had to have made an improvised sled
Yeah.
and drag it with the war horse.
I mean, maybe there's like a little bag,
We
like a
have
little
Layna.
leather strap you could have made.
I mean,
you
we
know.
probably threw like a tarp on
Yeah,
it or
exactly.
something.
Yeah.
So we're just dragging a big lump into town. Like,
Yeah.
what is that?
But yeah, so anyway, so the people don't seem to like doubt you. Like when you say this and stuff, they take you for your word.
Also, I would suggest to Layna that she might be able to do the thing that I've seen clerics do, where they preserve dead bodies.
Mm-hmm.
Hint, hint.
Yeah. Let's see if that's possible.
It's
I believe it's a general cleric spell.
gentle repose.
What is your
Central post. I just need to.
You would just need to have
Re-
woken up with it
prepared it?
prepared.
Yeah, which you could have done because I'm assuming you would have
One
asked her
day.
the night before.
Yeah, you could have
so-
actually. Yeah.
Yeah. What is
I
the
just
what is
wanna
the?
see if like I would actually use it,
Or never mind. Sorry, I was gonna ask something.
because like, actually I don't care at all about this.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right.
Alright, so you
Never mind.
Yeah, I would have used it.
alright.
Yeah, we'll use it. We'll get rid of like
Best part is the
You
last 10
know.
days, you only have to waste one day and one of your prepared spells.
So the
I'm gonna do it as like a ritual though, because like
Yeah.
that's a thing,
so the
and probably get rid of like prayer of healing for now to this day.
right, yeah.
That matters at all.
That's fine. Yeah, so the so your song goes over pretty well. When you're done, people are like clapping and cheering, you know, and someone will like as you hop off the little raised stage, it's not a full stage, it's just like, you know, a couple feet above the ground, so you have a little bit of height over everyone. As you jump off that, then this man who actually has like a lute on his back dashes through the crowd to get up to you, Anna. He's like maybe it's actually he's pretty young. He's maybe 20 or so. And just kind of plain looking features. He's wearing clothes that look like they're meant to be flamboyant, but obviously not made with any flamboyant materials. No silk or velvet or anything. Looks like he probably couldn't afford that. They're still kind of raggedy, but they're trying to appear as more than what it is. And he runs up to you and he like reaches out his hand to shake yours.
I'll take his hand and greet him.
And he says, "Oh my God, my name is Alred, and that was incredible. I'm the only bard around here that normally plays, and that was some travel through, you know, but I'm the only one I'm from here that actually plays frequently, and that was incredible. That's one of the better songs I've ever heard, especially from just someone passing through. What's that?
Yes, I got a lot of practice in the capital.
What's in? Oh, in the capital. In you mean in Alder's Landing or Fellington?
Alder's Landing.
The capital of the whole kingdom, and his jaw like actually drops. His jaw actually drops like physically to like a couple inches. And he's like, you've played in the capital?
Yeah, random street corners.
And he looks like he sort of like turns away for a second. Says, oh my god, well, that's amazing. Do you mind if I ask you what's the name of that song you just played?
Oh fuck, I don't know.
The rust-scaled hero.
You can take a second to think of one out of character. No problem.
I think Dreg's got it. There we go.
What is it?
The rust-scaled hero.
Nice, I like it. All right. That sounds good. He's like, and did you write it? I've never heard that one before.
Yes, true story. Happened
And-
just the other day.
And he like looks down at his feet, and then is like, you can kind of hear like muttering something to himself. He's like, and then he looks up at you, and he's like, and his eyes kind of look pleading now, like they're very nervous looking almost. He's like, if it's okay, would it be okay if I play that song and spread it?
Yes, just make sure that you mention that the kobold in the story is traveling with us. Him right over there, pointing at Grizzles.
And he looks at the kobold, and it actually seems like he's like surprised, like maybe he hadn't seen Grizzly. He's like, of course, yeah. Yeah, I had. This is just what I needed. I had been waiting for my moment to strike off and be a real bard on my own, and this is, I think, the inspiration I need. I'm gonna leave leave tomorrow and travel the lands and spread around this song. I think if I could be known for at least making your song popular, I would maybe I'll have some more success in my own writing.
I put my hand out to shake his hand again and wish him luck.
And he shakes it, and
I give him a gold coin and tell him, here, when you make it big, pay me back with interest.
and he chuckles, and he but then he just kind of is like yeah, sure, and he'll run out of the door.
You should go
Be
your
a
coin
millionaire.
So let's see. All right, so
How much will a night stay at the inn, a good meal at the tavern, and a mug of strong booze cost?
We'll say 5 silver.
Done.
Yeah.
Actually, do I have silver? Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm just gonna give him a gold.
All right, fair. They'll get you an extra nice drink to go with that. Yeah. So. So yeah.
I picture you plopping the gold down, and they have like the shitty weak ale, and they're something like, oh, let's pour some fucking straight grain alcohol into it, like.
Mm-hmm.
A refined palate.
So do you guys try to talk to any of the people who are quite impressed with this performance, or just go to bed and hit the road tomorrow? What's your call?
Just some general small talk, butter everyone up, and make sure that they know that the kobold in the story is here.
Yeah. People actually start like crowding around him, Grizzles, and Grizzles, he's like doesn't really quite know how to handle this. But he.
Yeah, I'll make sure that he doesn't do it or say anything too unfortunate, since he's not exactly used to.
Yeah, sounds
being
good.
Nice.
Okay, yeah, sounds good. So you
I'll make him a bard yet.
Yeah, you sort of guide him. Excuse me. Guide him through some conversations and make sure he doesn't say anything like, "Oh yeah, that was right after I killed a whole bunch of humans." You know, make sure he doesn't do that. He might actually try to say something like that at one point in time. Be like, I haven't killed as many drakes as I have killed, humans. But then you
Oh,
hear
darn it, I stepped on a stove.
But you hear you hear the direction it's going, you hear the tone of his voice, the sort of gleeful evil tone that he's had in the past, and you like go like, you know, step on his toe. He's like, "Arr!" And he's like, "Oh, yeah." But no, so but he certainly embellishes the story of killing the Drake a little bit. Not that it really needs embellishment. But after that point, he doesn't say anything super bad or anything like that. You make sure of it. So, and yeah, the people actually start like a couple of them buy him drinks even. Like they seem like they're pretty friendly to him, even though he's a kobold.
Drunk kobold, this can't be good.
Yeah. He doesn't drink too much, though. He's actually too caught up in all the talking and stuff that's going on. Still, so yeah, that's good.
Yeah, we don't want a kobold making con saves not to get wasted.
Yeah. So you guys spend the night, and it's a good night, you know. Okay. So the next day you're gonna travel to Sirmston, and then to Snowfeld the day after that.
I just opened the random kobold
Yeah.
sheet. Is like, what's this?
Yeah. So the
What's great is this categorized under enemies still?
yeah. Yeah. So the
I probably don't need to see that again. Presumably.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's fine. I'll get rid of that. So, anyways, though, so it'll take 2 more days to get to Snowfeld. On the road, it'll go a little quicker, so you'll probably have like an extra hour or 2 before bedtime, or a little while, even longer than that, maybe. Since the roads are easier to travel, but still, it takes most of a day's travel. So that is Gucci. So this next day though, I'm gonna have you guys, one of you roll me our customary D12, because this is still a dangerous part of the kingdom. Especially this road is actually a major trade route. Oh, okay, we're good. But I will note anyways that you see off to the side several places on this day's travel, some like turned over wagons that look like some looking more recent, most of them pretty old, that certainly do, and broken wagons. They're all missing wheels and stuff like that, and missing parts, but it certainly seems like there have been bandit attacks on this route plenty of times in the past and currently. This is a pretty decent trading road that leads through this part of the kingdom, so there's quite a few people that you pass on the way, but that also means that it's sometimes more of a target if you're on it. But still, you guys are not targeted. After all, you guys don't have any wagons or anything. You have 1 warhorse, and also you look pretty tough,
Dragging a large
exactly.
something.
So so maybe as people were watching you from the shadows and from the side of the road, but no one attacks you or anything.
They heard about the mighty Grizzles already.
Yeah. All right. So you make it to Sirmston. Are you just gonna do the same thing?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Gotta
just
keep-
spend the night.
Gotta keep hamming it up.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine, but while we were traveling, I'm probably beating civilized social norms into Grizzles.
Yeah.
If he does have any ambition of being a mercenary, he has the people skills.
Yeah, exactly. Fair enough. Yeah. All right. So the sounds good. So in Sirmston, Sirmston, just like the previous little village, Sirmston is a little bit bigger, but it also has a wooden wall around the outside of it. Obviously, not everything is within the walls. There's plenty of other things nearby, and there's actually like a tavern outside of it for maybe people who aren't allowed in or something. And there's a tavern within it too, of course. But it is the good center chunk of it is all walled in and pretty safe and secure. And yeah, so we'll say that we're not going into too much detail here since we just did that the night before. So do you guys you play for your food, Nox and Anna? The rest of you, if you want, the room is going to be 5 silver just for the room this time. Food will cost you 2, and are you going to drink much, or
I'm not going to drink this
Okay.
time.
All right, fair enough.
I'm just going to pay him a gold again.
Okay, yeah.
I imagine Ulf is probably just getting shit-faced every night.
Yeah. I'll take maybe a gold out of his stuff for all this, but I don't know. It's fine.
Especially
I'll worry
if
about
I butter him up by playing the song about him.
it now. Yeah.
Beating the other boy in that Totally a normal dagger fight with no magic whatsoever.
Roll me, actually, do me a favor. Roll me another performance check with advantage. From
rolls
Nox's
advantage
help.
game.
Yep. Yep. So nice. So yeah, you do even better than the night before. You not too much better, but you know you're slowly improving. So you change out a few words actually from the last time you played that maybe you think these are more dramatic sounding
Yeah, you
words.
see that kid thought he got the gold mine.
Yeah.
He got the fucking rough draft.
Yep. And so yeah, but you do a really good job though, and a lot of people come by again and hear it. And it's certainly you get a few compliments afterwards. People are like, you know, they say basically that too many of the people coming through there are just like, you know, hacks who don't really know their instrument too well, but you certainly do. You get quite a few compliments. All right. So yeah, that night goes by without incident, and the next day you guys will travel all the way to Snowfeld. You'll pass through Serum's Pass on the way, at about midday or a little before maybe, and then after that you'll make it to Snowfeld. So I'm not gonna make you roll a d12 for today. Don't worry about it. When you guys get closer, what is your plan going into Snowfeld? Are you gonna go straight to Theravel's? Are you gonna go straight to like the blacksmith, straight to the tavern, straight to the Baron? You know, what's your idea here?
Well, what time are we getting there?
You'll get there in evening, early evening. Sun is still up, but it's setting.
If I remember right, the Wizard's Tower should be like on the side of town we're going towards anyway. So
yeah.
we'll
It'll
stop
be...
by there to see if he is present.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that sounds good. We will we'll do that then. All right. So you guys,
And we could
Excuse me.
probably make the Baron or whatnot aware that we're here and willing to talk to him.
mm-hmm.
So I imagine that would be more of a
Sounds good.
we'll arrange something tomorrow then, sort
Alright.
of thing.
Sounds good. So let's see. Let me think about something for a sec. Okay. Okay, yeah. So, as you all are getting pretty close to Snowfeld, you're traveling on the road, and at one point, you see coming up from far ahead of you, but walking towards you guys, are a couple guards. Actually, they look like they're wearing the similar garb to what other guards in Snowfeld have been wearing. And this is not too far outside of the town, and not too far from Theravel's Tower. And they seem to be like pacing, like walking towards you guys on the road. Do you approach them? Wait for them to approach you?
I mean, they're dressed in guard uniforms.
Yeah.
Why would we stop walking?
So as you
Are they actively do they actively look like they're approaching us?
yeah, they look like they're approaching you guys.
Oh, I mean, no. I'm
Kind
not
of-
gonna just
What kind of
walk
mood
past
do
them.
they look like they're in when they see us?
Neutral. Like they seem like they're just doing their job. Maybe a little bit more like one of them might look over their shoulders or something every once in a while, but
It's a trap!
so
Yeah.
so they'll approach you guys.
Yeah.
And one of them steps forward and he says to you all, could you travelers? You're that group of adventurers that has been in Snowfeld, aren't you?
That's what they tell us.
He looks confused by that. Do you mind if I and if you guys keep walking, they'll turn around and walk alongside you guys. Essentially, they're not going to stop you.
What?
Yeah, we're gonna keep walking for
All right.
sure.
So he but he'll walk beside you and say, "Do you mind if I ask you a couple questions?" Nothing personal, I presume. I don't think.
Go for it, I guess.
Have you seen any hobgoblins today?
No,
Any goblins?
no,
Seen any signs of them?
No.
no.
Well,
The hobgoblins in the area are rather fond of us. I imagine if we saw signs of them, we would have quickly seen the rest of them.
yes. Well, there was an attack on Instrid yesterday by a large group of goblins and hobgoblins. they swooped in and raided the outskirts of the town, and the militia was raised, but they ran off with a couple prisoners before they before they left.
Does anyone know where they ran off to afterwards?
No, that's why we're looking. That's why we're walking up this way. But if you haven't seen signs coming from Sarim's Pass, then we can presume that they probably haven't come that way since.
Well, I believe the hobgoblins were one of the next potential targets. So I guess this just incentivizes us to go after them.
Sure does.
You guys say this out loud? I'm assuming not.
Yep.
I
You
mean,
do?
I don't see why Nox wouldn't say that out loud.
We're dragging the fucking Drake's head with
And
us.
he's
so-
like, what do you mean potential targets?
Oh, you
Oh.
haven't heard. Not only are we the adventurers hanging out in your town, we're also killing all the threats in the area.
Oh, well, I suppose I wouldn't know too much about that. I'm just a guard.
check what the warhorse over there is dragging.
He goes over and like looks in the little bag or like tarp or whatever, and like pulls a part of it back to see. He's like he jumps back in fear. He's like, oh, what the hell is that?
It's a drake.
And well, I mean, I'm not an Indian. It's obviously dead, but geez, you killed that.
It's true.
Well, then I suppose I have
Yes,
no reason.
this one right here got the killing blow. Pointing at Grizzles.
He looks like he might doubt that a little bit, but he's like he shrugs and he looks at
Believe
us.
it. He's now the leader of the kobolds and seeks to talk to what's his
Baron,
name?
what's his
The
face?
Baron, yeah.
He seeks to talk to the Baron.
Well,
The bloody Baron.
well, I suppose that if you all are that capable, then you probably wouldn't have missed any signs of hobgoblins. And he looks to his bodyguard and is like, oh, well, I guess we can probably head back to town then.
If you're ever looking for hobgoblins, run directly into a cave full of screams.
He looks.
You'll find them every time.
He's like, I have a wife, you know. I don't think I'd want to do that.
It's probably for the best.
And he nods. And then they'll like walk, I don't know, near you guys, alongside you guys, back towards town. You guys break off the
Not
path
that
after
bad.
a second.
The
though.
hellhounds, though.
I'm going to
Gotta watch
lean
out for
in
those.
toward Anna. There's a story behind that you're not telling me, isn't there?
Behind
The hobgoblins thing.
Remember, she wasn't there yet. He wasn't there yet.
Wow.
It's okay.
oh, you know,
So scrawny.
just
I mean, you got me there.
Yeah. Yeah.
abductions and hobgoblin attacks in caves. And just nothing major.
Do share.
Oh yeah, she wasn't there either.
I was also not here.
Well, we were on our way back from. I actually don't remember.
I believe
It was
the
the
first time we
monastery
visited The
site.
monastery.
Yeah, the site of the where it was. Yeah.
So the place where we fought that old ghost.
Ah.
Oh,
We were on our way back from there.
That
and we
bitch boy.
found a group of hobgoblins who had kidnapped some woman.
Yes, that's where Ulf got. And then we saved the woman.
After
She
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 got
brought
her
us back
throat
to
slit too.
her father's house. That's just fine. She's fine.
Yeah.
And Ulf got a shiny sword.
That's right, we did.
Yeah, and Ulf holds up the sword. We'll say.
Groans and hangover.
Yeah, groans and hangover.
Since it's all he's doing is drinking. So
So so at this point, you guys pretty much reached like the little path that breaks off from the main one. You're starting to enter the outskirts of the town where there's some like farm buildings and little areas here. But you find the little path that leads towards Theravol's Tower. And when you get to the little clearing there, Theravol's Tower, it does you guys can see that all the windows actually have light coming from them. the sun is setting, so you can see easily that there's light coming from all the windows today. Doors closed as normal.
I'm
Is
going to
there-
knock on it.
Right.
Is there
Suppose that means
normally
the wizards
light
don't.
coming from all of the windows?
Oh, well, actually, probably not all of them. Most of them, you know. The
That's good to say.
last time when Thurvel wasn't here, then not all of them
Seems like a
were
lot
lit.
of light.
One sec, I'll be right back.
All right. He's the one who knocked, so maybe we should wait a second.
I like the idea that he actually in character just knocks and then walks away and goes take a piss or something.
Let me look at this real quick. Let me mark my days on my calendar. Cool.
We could take a break. It's
Mm,
a little early, but you needed to make coffee, so you don't.
yeah, let's.
Probably.
This is actually a good place for our break, anyway. So we'll take a quick little break.
Well, a little 5-minute.
Yeah, a little
Yeah.
5-minute break.
Oh.
I'm gonna go make my coffee, and then we will continue. I'm gonna go ahead and unmute us then, and we'll hop right back in. Okay, so
We are good.
so you guys are at Thurvel's Tower.
I knock on the door.
You knock on the door. Yes. Let me real quick order my tabs again. So after a second, you hear some shuffling around inside, and Vince opens the door as usual. And once he sees it's you guys, he, throws the door open, and he looks a little tired. Vince does. Normally he's looked pretty normal, neutral condition wise, but like in the past when you guys have seen him and talked to him and everything, but he looks a little tired today. Still, and this is in early evening again, we'll say, when you reach here. And he throws open the door to you all, and you see that the little girl Jen is like sitting on a chair in one part of the room here, like playing with some toys or something, or like reading a very basic book.
Oh, Vincenzo wasn't ready for the parent life, huh?
However, Theravel is also in this room. He's actually laying back in like a recliner sort of thing. Not really a recliner. It's just a big like armchair sofa type deal, and he's like laying back in it, and he looks like he's asleep.
So instead of being Grandpa Wizard, he's just being normal Grandpa now.
Something like that. He looks kind of like that, yeah. Still, he looks like he's napping there. And Vince motions for you guys to come in.
I go in.
Yeah.
Right?
Hello.
And he says, do you all want me to make... Do you all want me... I can't speak. Do you want me to wake Theravel?
How long has he been asleep?
Since this morning.
Jeez.
Yes.
Hi. Well, I'll wake him. I'll wake him up. And he he walks over there, and you guys are on side. You close the door behind you.
Slaps him.
He comes over and he reaches out to touch Theravel, and then Theravel, his mouth moves and he goes, I'm awake. I'm not that old yet. And he opens like his eyes and looks around at you guys, and then finally pushes himself up, and he stands up and he sort of dusts himself off.
I didn't know you sleep.
Looks at each of you guys, and his face also looks pretty tired and gaunt, but he dusts himself off, and then he walks over to like one end of the room where there's maybe a little wash basin, with some water in it. Splashes some water in his face, and turns to face you all, and he already looks like he is much more awake and a little less tired than even when he had just gotten up a second ago. And he walks over to you guys and just stands there for a good 20 seconds, just looking each of you over.
I suppose there's some new faces here.
Yeah. So he looks to you guys for 20 seconds. If any of you try to speak, he'll like hold up his finger to like try and like basically say silence, in
Thank you.
emotion.
What if I'm not okay with that?
I mean, you could say something anyways. I'm just imagining the scene where it's like, he tries to cut you off by going like, but then you, if you keep going, he can't, but he tries to just like look at you guys for a good 20 seconds. And after that, he's like,
I'm gonna go sit down.
yeah, he doesn't say anything or bother you. But he looks at you all after this 20 seconds. He's like, first off, I was mad about my pet chipmunk, but I forgive you all. Second, my condolences regarding Elwyn.
I'm gonna look back toward the group. Was that the one who died?
Mm-hmm.
Who might you be, and who might you be?
There was one that died.
Oh, yes. Before you joined us, before he joined us, there was a young. Well, I guess she was older than all of us. There was She certainly acted young. There was an elf wizard. She died.
So
yeah, she was along with us primarily because of knowing him, pointing at Terrible.
So who might you two be then? Pointing to Layna and Miles.
I'm Miles Reed. I am a hunter of sorts.
And he'll study you up and down and be like, hunter. Yes, I think I've seen your type before and interacted with them. Yes. And
I'm sorry.
And you, Layna, I mean, out of character.
Yeah, he just knows already.
No.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
Layna Alderman. Hardest steel you'll find in all of the world, really.
Doubt it. But in any case, welcome.
Wow!
In any case, welcome.
I'm gonna slam my hammer on the ground.
That's a nice hammer.
And tell him to ask Voltrus himself.
I would not bother with the god. I have a very before we talk.
You're wrong.
Before we talk about other
I say
things,
under my breath.
I have a very important question.
Hmm.
Do you still have the Might Stone?
I assume your tower is protected against divination magic.
The what? Sorry.
I asked the wizard, I assume your tower is protected against divination magic.
Of course. Why?
Well, before all of that, I think we've attracted some interesting attention.
What might that mean?
A cult of undeath.
Oh fuck, where is it in the notes?
Undead.
Oh, fuck yeah, the necromancer man.
What was his name? Something to do with ravens.
The Master of the Ravens.
Yeah, or
Yeah,
Raven
Master
Master, either one. Whatever.
Yes, you know of the Master of the Ravens.
His eyes widen a bit.
We encountered some of his subordinates on our way back here. Well, we were with the Drakes.
Really?
Yes,
Undead minions.
They seem to be interested in these, and I pull out the skull fragment that I have.
And I, taking my necklace. Well, I'm wearing split, so it's not under anything. So I'm just wearing it on my chest.
Yeah.
Then, but I lift up my necklace like, hey, this thing.
And he just starts pacing back and forth for like a good minute this time, just thinking, to himself, and he might like mutter some stuff out. And then he stops, turns to you all, and he says, "We'll get to that, but first, the Might Stone."
I look to Ulf.
Yeah, so I'm assuming at this point Ulf
I
would
also looked at Ulf.
pull it out and show him. He's not gonna just hand it over.
Show us your
I'm
stone.
assuming.
He seemed, when we were here, when Theri wasn't here, seemed like he would have shown it to Therival.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he would have shown it, but like he said he wouldn't. give it to him?
To Vince at least,
Probably
yeah. But still, I'm not gonna make him give it up now either. You know, without him being here. So, the
You seem to not want to give it to like anybody.
so that's so the Therival looks at the stone. I actually should have described this last time, at least to Matt, but the stone, once it's used, actually, it doesn't have the same color swirling that it does before. It still has a little bit of that swirling color inside of it, but it's very faint and darker. It's not as vivid and bright, and it's slower swirling around in there. Not nearly as impressive looking after it's been used. Presumably, of course, until it recharges, you know. And he, so Therival looks at it, and he comes closer to it, and then he looks up to you all and says, "It's been used."
Sure has.
Correct.
Yes, the defeat of the Drake required its use.
He he actually just ignores that part completely. Sits down in like a chair, at the table, we'll say, and slams his elbow down on the table, and like smacks his face into his hands. Oh no. Well. This is not what I had hoped for. This is certainly not what I had hoped for.
Well, if you had hoped for anything, you really should have told us what your plan was from the beginning. All those secrets, it's exactly what got your pet killed.
I had intended that Vince would take the stone while I was away. And he told me that he tried to, but your friend here, Ulf, rejected his proposal.
Well, there wasn't a whole lot of explaining of why.
Still, you've brought me the stone. I cannot be too upset. It's just I fear that now it may not be ready for when we need it.
Well, while you're over there talking about maybes, how about tell us why we might need it and why you're so frustrated?
And he stands up and he says, "We'll talk about that in a bit. Still, though, you killed the Drake."
We sure did.
Yes, we did.
And I suppose if the Might Stone was used for that, then at least it served a purpose for this cycle of the moon. And you all obviously have survived. It must have been a harrowing experience, though.
Could have been a lot worse.
And
Wasn't so bad. Met a giant. Found some undead on the side.
you met a giant, and then yes, the undead that you talked about. A giant, huh? It seems you've all made quite a bit of interesting discoveries. Very well. I suppose you may hold on to the Might Stone for now if it's not recharged anyways, until I figure something out. Very well. We have yet to talk about the Master of the Ravens and how he might fit into it, but let us first talk about why I needed the Might Stone. I do apologize. I should have told you why I needed it. I'm sorry I didn't tell you sooner. I had actually instructed Elowin to bring it to me if she found it.
I mean, you put your faith in what seems to be the right person, then.
I had hoped that she would. I suppose an apology is in order, since I didn't tell your whole group what was going on with the Might Stone. Vince knew, of course, that it was important that I needed it, but and Elowin knew, but I do apologize that I did not tell your group. The Might Stone is, at its core, just a weapon to be used, and one that we are in sore need of in Fellington, actually. I should have told you all this sooner. I do apologize, but of course, as you know, I am the Duke's wizard. I am his personal wizard. I chose to have my residence out here near Snowfeld, close to Snowfeld in case I require any laborers or help finding ingredients. There's population nearby, but also reclusive enough that I won't be bothered by the common city folk coming up to my door asking me to restore their pets to life. In any case, I am the Duke's personal wizard, and he had recently brought me into his war chamber and told me of something he needed my help with. The reason I have been up all night, most of the nights that you have been here, was because of the fact that the Duke believes there is an impending attack on Fellington. He thinks that, and I trust his judgment. I trust the Duke more than most men.
Overlay.
Oh crap! You know what? That's okay. I'm not really showing anything, but still, map would be useful, I guess. So he says, I trust the Duke more than most human men, and more than most nobles. But what he said was that he's found out is that there apparently is an attack coming from the Northern Isle within any day now, really. Probably in the next week. The Northern Isle, they've been building up, the men of the Isle have been building up their strength for an attack on Fellington.
Well, quite frankly, unless that stone there has some use that we don't know of, I don't think it would have been any more useful than you would be in the battlefield.
The reason the stone would be so helpful, it certainly does not mean that our side of the battle will be lost. It was merely going to serve as a weapon to be used. If you used it, you must know its power. It essentially allows great elemental power, and wielded correctly, you could with a vantage point, with some height, with perhaps with the ability to fly, which is not out of the question for a magic user such as myself. You could fly over the dozen or 20 or more raider ships that will be coming into Fellington. They have to, these men, the attackers, will have to arrive by sea, and we know from a spy that they intend to. You could fly over the ships, cast fire or cast stone, break the ships, and deal great damage. Certainly would have been helpful. Still, you are correct. That's not our only weapon.
Is the Duke unable to receive any assistance from, I don't know, the king? Isn't it his sort of job to protect people from that kind of threat?
Yes, well, it's a little bit complicated. As it turns out, the Duke and the King haven't been getting along quite well recently. And actually, if you were to go into the town, into Snowfeld right now, and go to the tavern and ask for rumors that have been going around, you'd probably find out why. One reason why is, in the recent months at least, is because the hold on one second. Give me 1 second. One reason why is actually also related to this battle. Arriving about a week ago, thus the rumors would be reaching here about now. It takes some time. Arriving about a week ago in Fellington was the Prince of Alderland, Prince Andrew. He arrived in Fellington with the intent to provide his aid to the Duke. Him and the Duke have he's young, Andrew, but him and the Duke have a good enough relationship, better than the relationship of the Duke and his father. And the Duke, in fact, I think at least, what it seems to me is that he almost views himself as a mentor to the young prince, hoping that maybe the prince will be a better ruler than his father, who many are not in favor of. And because of this, the king almost views this as an insult to his fatherhood and to his ability to train his son. All very idiotic, of course, but it is what it is. The king will not send his aid.
Just saying, the king will not send bandwidth.
Ha ha.
It's true.
I suppose I'll never understand this.
So, what sort of forces does the prince command directly?
The prince has a retinue of about a dozen knights of the realm that protect him and serve under him, and a small contingent of troops, but he only brought a score with him.
Oof. Knights are good and all, but against
Numbers.
attacking ships,
Yes.
an army with siege equipment to destroy the boats would have been far better.
Yes, and there have been
Whoa.
preparations of that, but...
Grizzles, this might be a good opportunity to earn a greater name for you.
And Grizzles, he perks up at this. He's like, oh my god, you're right. Offer ourselves for work to help fight. And Therival looks like very confused by this. He's like, the kobold is now working with you, not a prisoner.
Exactly.
Yes.
Much has passed since last time I was here.
He is the new leader of his brethren.
Yes, of course, after you killed the Drake, that must have lacked leadership. Yes, smart move. And he nods to Grizzles.
Although there is the matter of getting the common folk to accept the kobold. I've been doing as best I can in the small towns with some success.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Well, that's all very well.
Hey, I'll have you know
where
that,
were we?
that his kin destroyed one of the servants of the Raven Boy.
Yeah.
Name.
Mm-hmm.
Does he actually have a name other than just like
He's the Raven Master.
he's just the Raven Master?
Mm-hmm.
This boy needs a name
Maybe we'll figure it out one day.
one day.
So do you mention? So you say he kills one of the Raven Master boys.
Yeah, they mowed down one of the Raven Master's servants.
And Therival is like, he's like, yes, that was right. The Raven Master, the Master of Ravens. Let us speak of him. So, when you said that name, I was very surprised. I was not expecting to hear that name. Haven't heard it in a while. There's of course rumors that flow from time to time in the area, especially to the north of here in Sirmston. Sometimes the rumors pass around of him and people who have supposedly seen his servants, his evil servants. And certainly there have been, as long as I've been here, there was actually an attack on the outskirts of Sirmston that was attributed to him, although there were no survivors. But I have not investigated, and I don't know much about him. I just know that he is some sort of necromancer, and he exists in the moor. No one knows where.
That's what Yordred of... I don't remember the name of that county.
Yortenheim, yeah.
Your name.
Yeah, and he's like,
How long have rumors of this Master of Ravens guy been floating around? Like, he's potentially a lich or just like an elf or something. So
I mean,
he could have been around for a while.
So Therival, he'll tell you, he'll be like, again, I've only been here. I've only been the personal wizard of the Duke for maybe I don't remember. Like I think I'd say like 20 years maybe, or 10, 15 years maybe, for so long. But I do know that I had tried to find some information about this when I first heard the rumors and was here. I looked through some old tomes in Fellington in the records there, and I did find a mention of him from about 100 years ago.
Well, we can hope that he is simply an elf or one of the other long-lived races, because if he is somebody that has achieved undeath...
Yes, that is, yes, I fear that might be the case. We'll hope it isn't, but, and so you said he was there at the Drake's Lair in that area.
I don't know
His
if he was
servants.
there.
His
I
servants,
don't think
yes.
we'd be talking right now if he was there.
Fair enough, yes. His servants were there, and did they say what they wanted?
They wanted the skull fragments, as we said before.
Ah. Yes, well... And obviously you have them. He points to them, because you have them out.
Yep.
Yes, I know you're an upstanding wizard and all, but I'm sure you have some knowledge of necromancy. Do you have
Most
any idea
wizards do.
what both... what's his name again? Zindarak
Oh, yeah.
and the Raven Master would want with this?
And he thinks about it.
You know, that's actually something that I did want to bring up with you.
Zindarak.
Were you aware that the Duke's son was leading this cult that you've been hunting down this whole time?
Oh yeah, he failed to
The
drop the name.
Wait, what? The Duke's son?
Yes.
Oh, Zinra. And it seems like maybe he didn't remember that was the Duke's son.
Didn't even think of it, like, oh yeah, that's
But then
like...
he puts it together, and he's like, and he had actually been sitting down for this part, but he stands up again, he's like straight up. He goes like, what? Oh my, really? The Duke's son is leading this?
I'll take it that you did not know that.
No, I had no idea. And,
So, the Duke's son is running around with a magical artifact shoved in his eye socket, trying to destroy the kingdom, and we were the first ones to find this out?
Apparently.
and, oh my.
Well,
Oh
if
my.
the relations between the Duke and the King were bad before...
Problem
they'll,
is, honestly, I don't know if I want to tell the Duke this.
I mean, the Duke doesn't know either.
I mean, if I don't know, I'm assuming, and he didn't told me, I'm pretty sure he doesn't know that his son is behind this.
No,
The way we heard
you
it,
tend to be
it's
pretty hush about these sorts of things. I can only imagine it gets worse the higher up they get.
Are you saying that you think the Duke is behind this?
No, I'm
No.
simply saying he might be trying to cover up the fact that his son is behind this.
Fair enough. I suppose I can't rule out the possibility. And,
You'd think
Yes.
he'd have sent more than us through his wizard to take care of the problem if he knew.
Suppose you'd hope.
well, he of course, was not the one who called out for aid. It was the Baron.
Oh yeah.
The Duke,
It's all muddled.
ever since, around when you arrived a couple weeks ago, the Duke, ever since then, that's actually, when you first met me, I was already engulfed in my research of the Mightstone and other such things that might help in the incoming attack. That's why I've been so busy. And the Duke as well, with martial preparations of the capital city, Fellington. He's, of course, been very busy. I don't think he might have known or heard of the kidnappings, but I'm sure with only a few people missing, he wouldn't have bothered sending out for aid anyways. He probably told the Baron or sent the Baron a message saying to deal with it, and that's probably where you come in. with when you were hired on. Speaking of which, give me 1 second. And he turns and goes up the stairs. And do you guys do anything like while he's upstairs?
I wait.
I'll wait.
Right, you wait. And he comes back down with like these little coin purses, or little bags that have you can hear him jingling with coin. And he tosses them to each of you. Each within is...
Alright, so when I try to catch it, my hands just fall down to the ground because I can't carry it.
Just collapse.
Oh my god. So you're like, ugh. Yeah, nice. But yeah, within each of them...
You've been sweating holding all of your gear for some reason, and suddenly that just topples you.
Yes. The straw that broke the camel's back.
Within each of them is 50 gold pieces. So much, right? Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. Anyways, but no,
it's almost like it was from an earlier quest.
But he tosses you each 50 gold pieces in these bags, and he says,
Layna, could you help me with this?
and
Picks
Are you
you
gonna
up.
hand me the 50 gold pieces, or-
Just
turn it
carry
into...
him.
Yeah, I'm just gonna walk over and just like carry some of his weight
Oh yeah, sounds good. That's fair.
with like his arm around my shoulders.
Right.
Something.
So
We're about the same height.
so Thurl, though, he
In the arms of a
tosses you each these
blacksmith.
coins, and he says, "This is to pay for the work you've done so far. This was sent by the Duke." Excuse me. When I told him of how you all had requested additional compensation, even though he hadn't sent out the original quest, I went to him to see, as you had requested, to see if he could provide more payment. Is this
Thank you.
yes
Frankly, the order of this whole endeavor is just confusing.
Very
at this point.
bizarre.
Yes, we've even gone out of our way to do work that there was no compensation asked for.
yes, and I'm sure both the Baron and the Duke appreciate this, and I do too.
I certainly hope so.
And he nods.
Do
Very
you
well.
by-
Oh
Do
yes.
you by chance have any enchanted weapons? I summon my spear. I've been meaning to trade this in for something, but I haven't had luck finding anyone.
And he like looks it up and down, and you wish to. What do you wish in return?
Just a bow that shoots straighter, shoots harder.
I do not have one on hand. However, I could probably find you one.
I would greatly appreciate it.
Yes,
Why do you need a bow? Don't you have those strange beams of power that the two of you can shoot?
Yes, but it's always nice to have backup.
Fair enough.
Yeah. He'll say yes. If you wish, I can try to find such a thing in the capital city when I'm next there, and then take your spear from you in return. Then
I'd be more than willing to pay you a sum of gold. A meager sum comparatively, but it is something for your work.
I won't require any gold to do this for you.
Well, I thank you.
And he nods. Very well. Well, so you've killed the Drake. There's the stuff with the Raven Master. I've told you what the Mightstone's intended purpose was. I've told you of the presumed attack coming in on Fellington any day now. I will most likely be heading back to Fellington myself tomorrow morning. But first, what else has happened? Anything important? These skull fragments are very clearly linked, as you had said, to both the Raven Master and to the cult, we found out that the cult was controlled by the Duke's son. I must think upon this, but...
Well, there's also that blue stone there,
All
right
right.
next
yeah.
to the fragment.
Mm-hmm. And he says, and what does... Have you looked at the stone? Do you know what it does?
As near as I can tell, keeps people from being afraid.
Interesting.
And from what we've experienced, the redstone causes fear.
Indeed.
Interesting. And the redstone being the one wielded by Zindarok himself.
Wielded, yes.
Well, I'll have to figure out if I can see what this means and what these stones, these items might be.
The Duke's son, he had both of his eyes when he left, right?
No, he had lost one.
Okay, so at the very least he didn't gouge his own eye out to stick the stone in there.
He had lost one when the incident with his brother and his father happened.
Ah, yes.
Which
Incident?
is?
Quite a few years ago, then the boy, when he was just really a boy back then, teen, a young man. When he was a young man, he grew angry with his father, and one of his older brothers defended his father in words, and Zindarok didn't take it kindly and killed his brother. They dueled, and he lost his eye as a result.
That was not as eventful as I was hoping it'd be.
I had, well, in fact, I knew the story and knew all about Zindarok, but it took me a second to remember Zindarok, or put the name together with everything when you told me before, largely because of the fact that the Duke, he never talks about it. He's ashamed of it. It's a great moment of shame for him. So... So you have, I suppose I should say, now that we know about the cults and everything, and we know, I'm gonna have to think about how we should proceed. I honestly don't know if it'd be better to tell the Duke and get him involved, or to take care of things on our own. And if that means killing the Duke's son, then he's clearly turned against his father and the duchy now.
I fully intend to kill the Duke's son.
Yes,
Yeah,
well,
Considering,
I think
Of
it would
course.
probably be better that we kill him first.
I agree. Because
speaking of the
I
order of
absolutely agree.
things, I had thought perhaps we should go after the hobgoblins since they seem to be attacking settlements, taking hostages. Well,
yeah, short term, the goblins
prisoners.
will have to go.
And who knows, Anna? You might make a pet out of one of them as well.
do you know where
Oh.
the goblins are?
According
Well-
to the guards that we met on the road, they're somewhere to the north, or to the to the east.
within raiding distance of Instrad, it's rather difficult to travel with prisoners, so I don't imagine they've gone too far.
Interesting. Yes, I heard about that attack when I came into town this morning. Yes, well,
Would you have any idea where they would be heading?
if they took prisoners, it could be feasible that they are headed back to
Oh,
the
Nox, there was the thing with your sister.
Oh yes,
your sister. Excuse me.
yes. Though more importantly, it was what had happened to her. The cults, they're messing with demons, and somehow got them to possess these monks. That's why all of them seem to act so strangely. They're all possessed by demons.
I see. Out of character, let me ask you guys something. Did you guys ever tell Vince, it would have been, last time when you were here, did you ever tell Vince that, about how you found out the cult's name was actually the Order of Skleravac or whatever? Skleravac? Or...
we might have.
I highly doubt it.
Okay.
To be honest.
But
Alright. Sounds good. That's okay. So he would say they were.
Remember, we didn't tell him much at all.
Yeah. So he'd say like, so they're consorting with demons.
That's definitely what it seems to be like.
Huh. That does add a whole new layer to this. Interesting. Well, as I said, I do not yet know what to make of much of this. I'll tell you what, tomorrow I was planning on leaving to go back to Fellington, but I could probably stay at least until I have figured out what we might want to do. Or if you all have plans, then it is fine. Then I'll just leave early in the morning.
I believe the Baron here had invited us to have a meal with him because he believes that we have some relic or something.
It's preposterous.
I'd half a mind to take him up on it because, well, we've been walking all over this goddamn duchy forever now.
And
it'd be nice to have a proper meal.
And is this relic the Mightstone?
What?
Excuse me?
Is he looking for the Mightstone?
No, something about a shield.
A shield?
Yeah. A shield.
I don't remember. Had you guys told Vince about the shield and everything?
Nope.
Nope.
Okay,
Nope.
right, fair enough.
So this whole time, Nox has just been rolling around having it covered up.
Yep.
Yes.
Completely inconspicuous shield.
The Mad Lad
see here.
believes that somebody could have possibly found the Shield of Felling.
Oh, your character actually knows about it now, yeah.
The Shield of Felling.
She knew about it before, I think.
So he sort
Well,
of,
she knew of it, but not that we
Right.
had it until you just whipped it out.
Yeah.
So
That's what I'm saying.
he repeats it. He's like, the Shield of Felling, and then right at this point in time, knocks on the door. Knox is on the door now.
Why
not,
is
Actually
Knox
not
on the door?
no, there are knocks on
See,
the
I'm
door.
also possessed by demons.
Yeah, there is a set of knocking on the door. Is that good? All right.
Yeah.
And
I start heading upstairs.
he says, Layna, it's fine. Come down here.
I'm gonna keep heading upstairs.
All right, whatever.
Standard procedure in this tower.
Well,
She's
you've never
shy,
been here
don't worry
though,
about it.
so I don't think you were here though the first time that happened. So
I don't think she was. Yeah.
Was I not?
no, it was
No,
Kass.
That was still
Never
Kass.
mind.
So
Never
yeah.
mind. Not standard procedure. I go to answer the door.
Thurber will say, "Hold on, let Vince answer the door." Do you answer it anyways?
I mean, I'll look at Vince.
Vince shrugs and he moves to the door.
Get it, Vincenzo.
So Vince goes over and opens the door, and he says, he just cracks it just to look and see who's there, and he says, yes, my sir," and he actually like bows down a little bit and opens the door. All right, and so you guys see coming in the door a fellow. This dude.
Do I recognize this fellow?
I'll tell you in a second.
I have the sneaking suspicion some of us might.
At least two of us.
I'll tell you who might recognize him. So but first I'll describe him. So he has it's a young guy. He looks like maybe late 20s. Not too young, but also not too old. He's middle aged, a little on the younger side maybe. Late 20s, early 30s, something.
Okay, you can't call someone middle-aged and say they're in their late 20s or their early 30s.
I mean,
Yeah, middle age is like late 30s,
Yeah, that's true.
mid 40s, early
You
50s.
gotta think,
not in
there's-
this time
there's-
period,
There's
though.
clerics
Yes, yeah.
in this world that can heal any ailment. They basically have the
That's true.
equivalent of modern medicine if you are at all of status.
No, I guess he's younger then. Let's see. So, actually, let me
Also,
think.
the only reason the average lifespan was so low is because most people died
Yeah.
in their early
People would
childhood.
still live into their 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's Actually, he's
They
probably.
might have looked a bit rough because sunscreen wasn't a thing.
Yeah, no, actually, he's early 30s. I'm thinking about the age he'd be.
Leather golems.
I mean, they were also like back then just outside more as well.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, so-
either you were outside more or you stayed inside and covered your face in lead paint.
Mhm.
So he's early 30s. We'll say,
Okay.
and he is pretty. He has a very refined look about him. He's brown hair and blue eyes and a fine, like, cloak. It's
Fine.
it's a simple but elegant cloak is what I describe it. It's sort of like it looks like it's nice material, nice craftsmanship, but it's not flamboyant and over the top with its
And
color.
it burns with jealousy.
That is a
Hey,
simple but
I've been wearing fine clothes the entire time.
It's
They're just a little bit
Yeah, he has a
travel-worn.
cloak.
it's a simple but elegant
No,
cloak, and
Yes.
he also has like
They
a
actually
staff
have
in one
fine
hand.
clothes as well.
He has a
He has a
staff
what
in
in one hand?
a staff in
Staff.
one hand, yeah, like a walking staff or something. And this staff is also pretty nice looking. It looks like a very comfortable like walking staff. That at its top has like maybe a little like blue orb encased by wood or something. You know, like with the wood wrapped around it. I don't know.
Does
and
it look like it's for magical use?
Possibly. I don't know. I mean, it looks cool. Let's see. So I'm gonna have for just like general. I'm gonna have a couple people roll me just general normal intelligence checks to see if they remember. See how good your memory is. It'll be different DCs depending on the person. So Nox, Miles, and Anna. I want you three to roll. Ulf would not
Damn.
roll. Ulf would not roll, and
yeah.
oh no. Ulf would not roll, and whoever else it is would not roll.
Layna.
Layna would not roll. Sorry, yeah. Sorry, Perplex. I forgot your character.
I know why I'm rolling.
So,
I'm sort of from around here.
At least I got a +1 no matter what.
trust me. This is to see if you would remember him, even if you did see him. So, anyways, I've already determined who would have seen him probably. So,
I guess I am sort of new to the town.
So Kraigox
Just a
and
search.
so Anna and Nox, you guys recognize this guy from different contexts, but you both recognize him. Anna, you recognize. No, wait. Let's start with Nox. So Nox, you recognize that this is the Duke's son, not Zindarok, but one of his other sons. The Duke had 4 sons, and this is his second oldest.
God, guys, be cool.
His name is Mertrim. M-E-R-T.
Sorry, what?
Mertrim. There you go.
Military.
Mertrim or Mertrim. I don't know. Whatever you think sounds better.
So which
He-
son is he? Like the
He's
4th son?
the
Second
second son.
oldest.
There are 4. He's the second oldest. So you recognize him because you remember one of the last like citywide celebration parades that the Duke did. You remember seeing him. He was already again kind of old enough to be off doing his own thing at that point. But you remember him. So maybe he wasn't actually there at either of the last few. But you remember at one of the parades at one point you saw him there, and you recognize his face. So you definitely recognize that he is the Duke's son. And Anna, you also recognize him. However, you recognize him from way back when you were still at your house in Alderland with your family. You remember that one day this guy, it was probably, we'll say it was a while ago when you were a little bit younger, but this guy, well, how old are you now? You're like 23, 22, something like that?
I am 25.
Okay. So yeah, so we'll say it was maybe when you were like 12 or something, and this guy, you remember seeing him. He was actually a guest in your house one time, like almost like a diplomatic guest to your family.
We were the chosen bitch family that got to house the mid-tier noblemen. In the city.
Something like that. You were kind of young at the time, so you weren't necessarily super focused on that. But
Well,
you
presumably, if this guy's middle-ish aged, he would have been probably
late
my
30s.
age then.
Early 30s.
He's early 30s, so he's a bit older than you. So at that point in
Oh,
time,
he would have been like
he was-
he would have been
yeah,
a
he would have been like,
teenager still.
yeah, he would be like late teens, but definitely still be young. You know, maybe you even had like a little crush on him or something. I don't know.
Oh,
he's so
handsome.
You could decide that for yourself. But anyways, he but you definitely remember him. Again, he was just there maybe a couple times in that time frame, so it's probably not like you might not have even remembered up to this point where he was from, but you remember his name, Mertram, as well.
Oh, does he recognize either of us? Because there's
I
two
doubt he would recognize
former
someone.
noble.
That's so
But Miles.
Miles does
Well,
not
yeah,
remember
he
him.
recognizes Miles.
So
I've probably seen him, considering where my family is from. I just don't remember him or don't care to remember him.
exactly. Okay, well, I rolled to see if he remembered Anna. He walks
I
in.
mean, wouldn't Anna just like look completely different, no matter what now?
Well, I'd look like
quite
an
different.
older
you know, an
version
older,
of
yeah.
me.
So Mertram, yeah.
I've basically looked like my twin sister forever.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. So
I'm not
Yeah,
pretending. I'm
stole
not
her
actually.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, basically.
I don't really know
As
your
far as the world is concerned, I am my sister's twin.
Yeah, I think
Identical
we kind of thought that maybe like when we were making the backstory that Anna was like when she was too young to really know how to use her ability, then it was kind of like a natural thing because they were born together to make herself look like her sister, you know, and then that kind of stuck. So, or something like that. I don't know. But still. So anyways though, so
You kind of had to do some gymnastics to figure out how a changeling would be born into a noble family, and
Yeah.
then also like not just thrown
yeah,
out.
but I kind of like that. Anyways, it's very cute. So anyways though, so he walks in.
So you're very obviously a nobleman. Why are you here?
And so like before he even answers that, he looks around at all of you, and his eyes linger on Anna a little bit, and maybe widen a tiny bit, before he just like he focuses on Miles, who said that, and he says, "I'm here to speak to Thurival, of course. Why else would I be at his tower? And who are you all?"
When his eyes leave Anna just disappears.
Wait, what? Like
I'm invisible now.
you're going invisible?
Yeah, just as he looks away at Miles, distracting him, and everyone else presumably, I'm just like, I'm still there. I'm not trying to run. I'm just invisible. Like, nope, you didn't see me. You don't recognize me. There's nothing to see here.
Who all would notice that?
Yeah,
you
like
just vanished?
I mean, oh shit.
because
Yeah.
because I have not seen this happen yet.
I mean, the thing is, obviously they don't notice you because you're visible, but they notice that you're not there. So,
They noticed me.
Well, no, like-
you might have heard
oh yeah,
me
like hurting
say
you
a
have to
magic
say
word.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, he
verbal
doesn't
somatic
supposed to
material.
please,
So
and then he's not
There
there.
has to be one of us that like visually saw and
Yeah.
just disappear.
Oh my god. Yeah. Well, like, we'll say that none of the NPCs notice yet, but if you guys want to say that you notice, that's fine by me. But luckily this dude, Mertram, was focused on Miles when you did that, and he said, and he like I had Adam say, he says, "I'm here to speak to Thurival, of course. Who are you all, basically, and why are you here?" And Thurival starts to like walk up to greet the guy.
We're the ones that killed the Drake.
I see. And at this point, Thurival walks over and greets him and basically says, like, you know, like, "Oh, what, like, how you doing, Mertram?" And they start like doing some greetings and kind of ignore you guys for a second. Do you guys try to butt in at all?
No.
All right. And Mertram like pauses after they do that. Then they both pause, and Thurival looks back to you all and says, "If you wouldn't mind, I think I think Mertram and I will go upstairs and talk about some things."
does the wizard notice that I'm just gone, or did he notice me cast the spell in the first place?
Actually, at this point in time, then
You almost certainly would have noticed.
when
this
they
guy.
like Yeah, well, so when they turn back to you all, though, at this point, after greeting each other, then Meritrim is like, after Thurvel says we're going to go upstairs if it's okay with you guys, Meritrim says, wait, wasn't there another one here with blonde hair?
Nox looks around really, like, obviously, like, around the room, and says, what are you talking about?
That you're talking about me?
Could have sworn
I also have blonde hair.
No, I could have sworn I saw another girl here, one that I recognized. And Thurvel looks around at this point and realizes he was like, maybe too focused to realize before. He's like, oh, where did Anna go? And
there's no Anna here.
I look at Nox.
I look around.
And,
actually, yeah, where did Anna go?
And Thurvel's like,
you feel an elbow in your ribs.
I just hold my tongue and keep looking at Nox.
Thurvel's like, at this point, he's like,
yes, Layna?
He's like, Thurvel at this point is like, oh, no matter. This is important, Meritrim. Let's go speak of this. And Meritrim was like, okay, and they'll go upstairs.
Nox looks very pointedly at Layna and Miles. You two are very bad at picking up on when somebody does not want to be noticed.
I didn't say anything.
You said, where is Anna? You should have pretended she didn't exist.
By the way,
I didn't say that.
Vince is still down here with you guys, by the way.
Yeah, but he knows Anna's real.
Yeah.
I also actually never said anything about Anna.
Why wouldn't she want to be noticed?
I have no idea, but she turned invisible for a reason.
She could. My thing is that she could hear all this.
I just walk up to you. I don't know, Miles Harrington. Why would somebody not want to be noticed?
Point
Miles
taken.
Harrington.
Don't call me that. Long story, Nox. Don't call me that.
Little hairy boy.
Don't make it weird, Layna.
Call me that again and expect something to happen. I'm bad at threats right now. Just stop.
Anyway,
I just chuckle to myself.
also, I'm not going to appear for like the next hour because there's like, hey, I burned a spell slot.
Yeah.
Why waste it?
How are you three feeling about dinner with the Baron? I mean, he offered, and I think we earned it.
I'm ready. I'm dressed for it already.
I've been meaning to ask you about that, actually, Anna. I noticed that you had picked up some new armor. I guess that was amongst the Drake Slayer, but you didn't have it on the night that we went through his treasure hoard.
Yes, I might have found that when we were looking through the treasure.
Well, it looks wonderful.
Thank you.
It is rather stylish. But,
did he not recognize that it's from my family?
I just didn't pay attention.
Yeah.
So you just like noticed that I had nicer armor on?
Yeah.
Hey, convenient that I'm invisible right now, so no one can pointedly examine the armor.
So Vince will say to you all, and he'll be like, if you all are looking to go off and do your own thing, normally when Meritrim comes by to speak to Thurvel, it takes a while.
Well,
So, why would I recognize that name? Why?
It's one of the Duke's sons.
Yes, in fact, and Vince is like, I apologize. I should have explained after they left. Yes, the Meritrim is the second son of the Duke.
Oh, I'm aware.
How, if you don't mind me asking, Mrs. Anna, how are you aware?
Mrs.
Yeah, I'm gonna say out of character. Like, he kind of seems like he's a little on edge from having like had to greet a nobleman face to face. He still has that little behaviorism that he's still carrying on in conversation right now. Certainly, Vince seems a little rattled. Not like scared rattled, but like just like oh, I just had to. I wasn't expecting that, you know.
Well, I am a bard after all. I get around and meet many people.
he just shrugs. Like, I guess it's not in my place as a knight of Felling to ask these things.
Hmm.
Well, if they're going to be a while, I suppose we should be off.
And Vince will be like, if you wish to, Therival will be here in the morning. He said, he'll basically be like, come back in the morning to speak to Therival again before he goes back to Fellington.
Very well.
And
The door opens from no apparent source.
Yeah. And yeah, so
I will
you
follow the invisible source out the door, maybe bumping into them if they didn't immediately exit.
Yeah.
If I was a more of an asshole character, you'd totally
Like
be
trip.
walking over a leg right now.
Yeah, tripping. Yeah. So
You'd be
what
tripping, boy.
is your guys' plan right now?
I'm gonna go to the inn and
Yeah,
get a
probably
night's stay.
get a place to sleep.
Okay. Did you want to? Were you gonna go to the Baron tonight or tomorrow or when? If you were going to at all, you don't have to.
I'd say like we'd probably just be able to tell one of his guards that we'd like to meet him tomorrow early-ish.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, sounds good. So
Hell, maybe we can have him invite the wizard along and we'll all have a powwow.
So let's see. Let me check something. So yeah, so tonight you're just gonna go into town to the tavern and get a place to stay for the night. Sounds good.
Yeah. I'm gonna play for my dinner, except
yeah.
I'm going to randomly start playing on an empty stage.
Yeah.
Since I imagine we can get there before the invisibility wears off, since
Oh
it's
my
an
God,
hour-long
yeah.
spell.
No, yeah. It's
So I'm
only
just-
a few minutes. away.
Music is going to start playing from whenever it's empty. If I could jump
Yeah.
on there when there's no one there.
Yeah, the group walks in and you see that the stage is empty. The people in the tavern start looking at the visible members of the group and like, oh hey, it's these guys again, And I'm assuming then you jump on the stage and start playing, and then all of a sudden music just starts emanating.
Yep.
Yeah, and all the people in the room go like like, and they're like, oh, and they're like, what's happening? And they start freaking out a little bit.
And just randomly, boop.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I was thinking like
Maybe
like
cast
with the-
prestidigitation for a little puff of smoke.
Yeah, or like it goes like from your feet up and finally revealing your face, and you like do a bow or something. I got you, something cool like that. And everyone like goes like yeah, and cheers a little bit. They're like, oh, that's a cool trick, And so everyone it seems like the people really like it. And actually so you guys will.
Besides, I don't think I've done any of the stories to ham any other party members up in this town. So.
Yeah, so are you gonna play the one about Grizzles or both of them or what? The other one about Ulf.
We'll cover the one about Ulf and the one about Grizzles.
All right, roll me a performance check with advantage, of course, if Nox is
I'm
helping.
assisting.
Yeah.
Aw, lowest roll yet.
That's not too bad. So you
Only an 18.
do a pretty good performance, and again, people really dig it, and people gather around and start talking about the subject matter of the things, and they're like, "Wait a minute, did that really happen to them, or is she just making that up?" And yeah, so it goes pretty well, and.
We could go real noisy with it and show them the fucking Drake head.
So those of you who don't play for your food and staying or whatever, it'll actually only be 5 silver for food and the room. You guys have
That'd
sort
be
of
Ulf.
yeah.
Assuming he doesn't go sleep with some goats somewhere.
Yeah, and yeah. Other than that, you guys are pretty good for the night. And I'm going to take a quick break here to use the restroom because I got to go real bad, actually.
Okay.
And then we'll come back and I'm guessing... So you said you might have told one of the guards at the Baron's Keep on the way that you'd be going?
Yeah, I'd suggest it,
Okay.
so if no one else objected.
Okay, so you can prepare.
Yeah.
Maybe have the Baron also have the wizard show up tomorrow if he's willing,
Okay.
since we need
Yeah.
to talk to him also anyway.
Sounds good. So you guys notify one of the Baron Scarras before going to the tavern and doing all that stuff, and going to bed. Sounds good.
Probably not me, since I don't know how they'd feel about
invisible
disembodied voice telling them to find their lord.
Yep. Okay. Well, yeah. So this is a good little break time. It'll be like 2 or 3 minutes. I just gotta use the bathroom real bad, and then we can resume. So, all right. Be right back.